order?
You're here.
Okay.
You're here.
Okay, we're calling the meeting to order, starting at a little before 9 o'clock. We will begin with taking roll call. Raymond Camina. Elizabeth Flores.
Here.
Judith Gutierrez.
Here.
Richard Laredo. Bethany Luna.
Present.
Janie Martinez. Marisa Ramirez, present. Magali Rodriguez.
Present.
Alejandro Villarreal. Motion to excuse our members' absences is Alex Villarreal. He's out of town on travel. And Rick Laurel, who is also out of town.
I move that we excuse those two.
Second.
Motion carried for excused absences. And then we move on to the approval of the minutes for the September 30th meeting. We did not meet quorum. And in the October 3rd, 2019 meeting, we do have our minutes on it. Do we have a motion for approval?
I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Motion carried.
I just want to make a comment on the minutes that they were very well written.
Yes, they were.
Monica?
Yeah, thank you, Monica. Do we have any public comments at this time?
Mr. City Manager?
I'm here just on, I'm sorry. I heard y'all were here, you're the best looking committee, just. Not
He says that
being recorded. But it's true, I'm sorry. Very looking committee, and the smartest.
Okay, moving on to reviewing the year-to-date financial statements, which is on page 6.
We're at the beginning of the new fiscal year, and in our page number 7, the hotel motel occupancy tax collections, and as you can see, we came above the forecast. Yes, so we're in a good place right now with hotel motel for the end of the fiscal year.
3.7.
3.7, it was our projection, and the actual was 4.2.
Wow, that's impressive.
It's the 14% over
Over the projection.
14 or 114?
basically 14. Any other comments or questions that we have on the financial statements? No?
No.
Okay, so we do have here in our agenda the introduction of our city department directors, but they're rescheduling to come in to one of our meetings, so in January. So we will skip that section and move over to the October activity reports. The first one is the Eileen Ramos Director's Report on page 8.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And before that, we would like to show, I'm going to repeat myself a little bit, but for the record, we would like to show the video that's now running in 8 different movie theaters in the Monterrey area. This is our main travel market, our main driving market. And this year, our press conference for the Black Friday and holiday season was at a movie theater because we wanted to show this video is now, it's a cine minuto, it's a video that lasts a minute, and it's going to be showing in movie theaters in the Monterrey area for the next couple of weeks.
It's the best movie.
Wait,
Oh, no. Hotel Valley.
So one of the things that we want to show is that Laredo is more than just shopping. There's more things to do. Yes, you're gonna come shop, but then there's a lot of things that you can do. There's nightlife, there's other activities that you can enjoy while you're here in Laredo.
Did you all see the decorations at that bar? The one on the corner of the Tatangelo Parkway?
House of Whiskey?
House of Whiskey.
Yes, on the Dia de los Muertos. Did you all see the
Yeah.
My gosh.
They worked with the
Yeah.
local artist Bruno Rendon and partnered up with LNF, and they had like a little unveiling on Friday, the same day that Dia de los Muertos was at
It
at the
was
Center for the Arts.
unbelievable.
And then you see the chalk outside as well. He did those leaves too.
All the on the bottom.
Yeah.
Wow,
I wish more people would have known about that,
Yes.
because I told so many people about it and they were so impressed. It was
Mr. Gibbs, any
beautiful.
comments
Yeah, well, okay.
on the event? On
I don't
the
know,
video on the big screen?
No, well, I guess, yeah, I do have just some comments. All positive though. I think it was well received and I think they were surprised. The level of questions that typically come from those Monterrey visits are a little, well, they're staged one, but they're more typical about generally with some security questions and the wall and the bridge and border stuff. I think they were so impressed and off their game, the media, by just being in that space. They forgot about all that. They just focused on this. So all the questions pertain to hotels, pertain to shopping, pertain to, you know, the experience of coming to Laredo. So really, I think refocused them, so it ended up being a real positive thing.
Yeah, I think that the security issue, you know, especially, you know, in view of all of the stuff that's going on in Mexico right now. I mean, you look at this and it's like, it's not even part of anything. It's, you know, you forget.
It's
And they
really
forget
our
that they're-
everyday life.
And that's what I was going, you know, that it's what we live with every day. I mean, it's not, and we're not running scared, we're not looking over our shoulder, I mean, you know, and I guess there's no fear here. I mean, I don't hear it from my grandkids or my other people, you know, that say, well, you know, I'm afraid. You know, never hear the word. So I think that that's a good way to present that. It was very effective.
And it also shows that we have beautiful women in Laredo.
Sure.
Yeah, for sure.
We do. I mean, the Mayor was saying, you know, that she travels a lot, and she, you know, one of her observations is, you know, people watch and looking at the women and men, you know, and different you know, at different scenarios, like at the mall or restaurants or everywhere you go, the airport, you know, and it's, you know, you compare them to our community.
Laredo is just unique, very cosmopolitan, very.
A lot of people don't see it that way. I mean,
Yeah, but those are the least, you don't pay attention to those.
pero te
I
caen
don't.
mal, Betty. A
Yeah.
mí me caen. I'm always fighting with somebody. Yo.
No.
Yeah.
Can't see it, I guess.
The way it goes, you protect your own.
No, well, and we were there not only with staff, but Monterrey office, they did an awesome job, everybody did. Councilmember Arturo Martinez joined us. We were joking because we're surrounded by, again, beautiful Laredo folks. We were there just as bookends and eye candy. That's all we do. We just But I think he agreed too. I mean, when he left, he honestly, he really did have a different impression about Monterrey and our Monterrey office. And now you ask him, and he actually got into a pretty good discussion with a council member who he had aligned with in what he thought was Monterrey. And now when he came back, he actually had a heated argument against him, saying, it is without a doubt we need to keep Monterrey, and not only that, keep reinvesting more dollars. So now he's an entire champion of that idea.
And you know, that's what it takes, you know, going to somewhere and to experience and to see. I mean, you just can't judge,
Yeah.
you know, from afar, and say, like a lot of people judge us. you know, and they listen to the news and, you know, they form an opinion and it's like.
On somebody else's
That's
idea
right, I
that
mean,
has never even been here.
And they don't, yeah, that's right, and it's like, why? I mean, why do, so that's the difference in, you know, people going over there. I mean, I applaud the councilman, you know, for taking the time, opportunity to go. If everybody would do that, I think we would, you know, be in a different place. I do.
Yeah, he was very
Yeah.
impressed, he
Yes.
told me.
Oh, that's good.
Very.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments or anything? So moving on to the sales manager's report, Joel Vasquez on page 9.
Morning, Madam Chair. My report's page 9. Two things that I wanted to highlight. One is the SEEP conference. We were just, this morning I just got a text from the committee that we were selected to be one of the presenters. So we have a good chance of getting closer to hosting the conference in Laredo. So that's good. You know, we were competing with other cities and you just never know, just based on the bid that you submit, you're hoping that you're gonna be able to at least get the presentation. But we're closer, so that's a great thing. And the other thing that I wanted to highlight was we had a site visit with Terry. He's the national secretary for the National Narcotic Detectors Dog Association annual conference that we're going to be hosting.
The dogs are always welcome.
Yes, so we're expecting about 130 to 150 officers with their canines that they're going to be coming into Laredo. They get here on May the 29th. Obviously, the 29th and the 30th and 31st is basically the board. All the attendees will be getting here on the 30th because their main conference starts on the 1st, June the 1st. So they're pretty much going to be here for about a week, so it's going to be great. We show them around all the bars there in downtown, you know, all the areas where they could do. So they're really excited. We took them to La India, and man, they were blown away. Terry was blown away with La India, just the spices and everything. So obviously.
They'll bring the dogs in there, they're gonna be thrown.
I know. So we're really excited. You know, obviously with the support that we have with Sergeant, who now he sits on the board with the Laredo Police Department, and you know, so he was the relationship that we have with the police department. So it's a team together, you know, getting everything together, and so we're really excited. This is going to be our second year hosting them. So we brought the wow factor the first time with Eileen and everything she did, and we're hoping to bring it again, you know, bring it a little notch higher than what we did.
Back in 2013.
Where do the dogs stay?
In the
rooms?
Yeah,
They
they
have
have
to-
special kennels, and what they do is they have signs so that housekeeping knows that there's a police dog,
Police
there's
dog, yeah.
Right.
a canine inside the room.
They were here before, weren't they?
Yes,
2013.
2013.
Were they as many as there
We
are?
had 100.
100, yeah.
Back then, we had 100 officers with their canines.
Canines, yeah.
What's important is a 760 room night.
Yeah, because they stay for a whole night, they
Yes.
have different events every
That's
night.
what
Yes.
It's
important.
amazing.
Yeah.
Remind me what SEAT is again?
It's the Code Enforcement
Association of
Texas.
Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. So Jerry Pina, he's again with Laredo Community Development. He's one of the board members. So obviously the relationship we have with community development, and we've hosted before. You know, so Eileen was able to bring that conference. I think it was 14 or 15.
Yeah, it has to be turned
Yeah.
because
So-
I'm maternity.
We, as sales, we travel with that group for
Yeah.
2 or 3 years
Years.
before, so
Yeah.
in my mind, it was one of those years.
Yeah.
But
I remember.
So they kind of moved the conference around, and it was kind of in our area, in our region. So
Just beginning to,
so we're excited that
yes.
we have a chance to be able to land the business, so we're hoping that
Very
everything goes
good.
good. So we'll be doing a presentation in Austin in February.
Is Mr. Pina from where?
He's with
Here,
Laredo.
he works for
the
the
city.
City
Oh,
Laredo,
okay.
yeah, community development. He's one of the code enforcement officers, supervisors, I think, right?
Okay.
So that's basically those are the two things that I wanted to highlight. I'm not sure if you guys have any other questions regarding my report, Madam Chair.
No, not at this time. Never know if anyone else does.
When will we know about the Laredo motor carriers?
That one, the tournament, it's actually, it's this week. And it's gonna be there at the Max.
Yeah.
Actually, I was there at the Max yesterday and they
they're
set up 18-wheelers at the entrance. Even in one of the holes, they have an 18-wheeler and whoever hits a hole in one will actually be winning either $250,000 or
What?
a truck.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want to play with us?
Yeah.
Are you playing?
No te vayas a ganar 250.
Or truck.
Jugando pelota, I sent them to Mexico, so.
It looks really nice.
So that's really, really,
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah.
How many people do you have attending? Have we?
They have 200 golfers
Golfers,
attending.
yeah.
Yes, we
Yeah, it's
assist them
a
with
really
the
big
lead,
event,
and
yeah.
then we also send them out service like sports bottles. They already had bags, so we just gave
We give
everybody, all the
goodies.
attendees, sports
Qué
bottles.
bueno, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
I mean, I'm excited for somebody, I hope I have a hole in one, you
I
know.
wish I
I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy in and see if I make it. Just beginners
And yesterday, we were there because we did an interview with the Texas Golfing Center. Selena was working with that, and we were able to bring some golfers from San Antonio and surrounding areas. And one of the golf writer, he actually hit a hole in one. I think it was-
Okay,
Well,
I'm gonna get him.
yeah. So imagine,
Was he just practicing or he was?
no, he was actually playing. He was, he's gonna
You're rating the
rating
course.
the course. Yeah, and
Wow,
so
then he had a
he puts
grade
it
of
in
A+.
websites and blogs and all that good stuff.
¿Verdad?
And he hit a hole in one. So
That's an
I was
amazing
like, man, and then
sport.
that's when Dennis told me about the $250,000 or the truck. If he would have been in the tournament, he would have won either the $250,000 truck.
Just, he makes sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
But it's-
that's a very, very good prize. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Yes.
incredible.
And I was impressed that Dennis was able to put the trucks in the holes because some golf courses will not allow you to do that. But obviously they know where they have their sprinkler systems and because they're big
Yeah.
trucks. But the way that they laid out the golf course, wow, it's
Oh, it's an amazing
Yeah.
golf course.
Yeah.
I can
No,
tell
it's-
you.
anybody that
be
plays from
amazing.
out of town is gonna be blown away. So,
Mhm, They do.
yeah.
I've brought in
Yeah.
several people and they are blown
They're
away.
making a lot of money, we're getting this kind of,
Yes.
very
One
good.
guy I never invited back was, I can't believe Laredo has a golf course like this. A city like Laredo has a golf, so I never invited him back. He's called several times. So when I didn't come back, I said, when you really like Laredo.
When you
When you start saying, when you start appreciating.
Yes.
Appreciating it.
Okay, moving, I guess everything's
Yes.
good.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, go ahead.
Thank you, whoever said
Thank
it
you.
recording.
Thank you.
Moving on to the Services Coordinator, Veronica Gamboa's report on page 11.
Yes, good morning, Madam Chair, and good morning, everybody. It's page 11, my report, and I did help a lot with, all the movies in the patio. We did assist, and thanks to City Manager's office, they allowed us to use the equipment from
Thank you.
the arena. And of course, we also did Dia de los Muertos, the cultural celebration at the Center for the Arts. Also another, very logistic type event that we assist with them, and parks and solid waste goes and helps them as well to do this event. I think it went well, it was well attended. And we're gonna keep on working on doing that. I know that I'm gonna start working with HOA, with the NDDA, doing their events, logistic work as usual. So I do have one thing to mention, November 21st, destination training. Due to the move and everything that we are going through, and we have a list of events that we're gonna be hosting and assisting with, we wanna cancel that destination training, or not cancel, but postpone.
Postpone it.
Yes, so for
That's
them
probably a
to
good
stay.
idea.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a good idea, I mean, there's just too many things going
But
on.
yeah, because two of our staff members, like myself and somebody else, we have all day with the destination training, and I think we need more
Right,
hands-on.
hands on deck.
Hands on deck,
And
yes.
the other thing, and we know November is because of it's proximity to Thanksgiving,
Thanksgiving.
it's not always the best attendance, so
No.
we're not that concerned, like, if it was like a regular one where we get 30,
Sure.
35, even 40 people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good observation, you know, about the Thanksgiving holiday and not having that many people attend.
yeah,
Yeah.
this coming up year, we're actually Xing out November and adding May.
Yeah.
Just because it's always been very poorly attended, so
Yeah.
we're making
Yeah.
changes, improving our efforts of promoting our city and our pride. So, any other questions on my?
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, Veronica. Moving on to the marketing manager's report. Selena Villarreal on page 12.
Good morning. As Eileen mentioned, we were able to spend a couple of days I joined the group in Monterrey for the Black Friday press conference. It was really great attended, and it was my first time traveling over there, so just to see and to hear, the feedback from everybody, just so perceptive and positive about Laredo. That just, is very reassuring and kind of lets us know that we're doing, the job that we're supposed to be doing. For those of you that were also in attendance, we did have a local stakeholders roundtable with Relic, and we discussed the logo and taglines for the new U.S. rebranding campaign. We had a follow-up discussion with the agency and internally a discussion with Eileen and staff, and I feel that the meeting that we had was positive, was productive. I think, the feedback that came back from there really is helping and gearing us towards getting the correct look and feel for the campaign that we're hoping to fully launch in January.
It's important for us to have that feedback from all of you, from our different partners in this campaign.
I wanted to ask you, have you all seen in the newspaper, and I really haven't researched it very much, and I should before I talk, but there's a little page up at the top every time of the Laredo Morning Times that says, put this code into your phone or something, and you get like some kind of a discount
A
for
QR
a
code.
restaurant
It's a QR code.
in San Antonio. It's a
I've
San
never
Antonio thingy.
It is?
Yes.
The Laredo paper?
Huh?
The LMT?
No, yeah, Laredo Morning Times, up at the top.
You know,
And I hadn't really paid attention to it a few times, but then I saw San Antonio, and then I thought, I need to research this. But I thought I'd bring it up, so maybe y'all can look at it.
We'll check it out, yeah.
But you get like a coupon, but for something in San Antonio.
Maybe because their bills come from San Antonio Express News, so maybe it has something to do with that.
Mhm.
And we advertise in other destinations.
Yes, I know
So-
we do, but I thought that
We
was
have a
interesting
challenge.
to
Yeah, we'll
actually
look
get
at
a
it.
coupon
Yeah.
on your phone.
It's good. Now with the QR code, for example, we just went to the meeting for Paisano, and this year they gave us just little sheets of paper, they're little, and they had the QR code. So I was taking a picture, and I was taking the picture, my phone recognized the QR code,
Right.
and it's the Ya Paisano on your phone.
It's a digital version.
It's a digital version.
Right.
So now you don't have
Going
to
green.
carry it or anything. I just scanned it. Same thing, we saw some business cards in Mexico where the guy just had like a little card with a QR code, and you take a picture and your phone recognizes it and it saves it to the contacts.
Oh, yeah.
So with QR codes you can do like a lot of stuff.
Anything, and I think that's what it is. But you get like a discount of some kind. Anyway, just look at it, because I
Yeah.
thought that
We'll
was
do
Yeah.
that.
interesting.
And maybe it's come out several times that I just,
Right.
white noise, like I
Right,
just.
right.
Yeah.
It's not very attractive, but it's there.
No, we'll definitely look into that.
Any questions? I do have upcoming travel next week. It will be part of the Texas Film Commission. It's the beginning process to make Laredo an official destination that is a Texas-friendly film site.
Oh, we're the friendly town.
We are.
Yes.
So we want to be certified as film friendly too.
Yes.
We do get some.
We do get solicitations already,
Exactly.
but what the bonus is to being a certified Texas film-friendly destination is that now they'll include us on their database, on their website. And that way, you know, if there's a producer or, you know, a director, they can go to Texas, South Texas, and, you know, just see Laredo as an option. There's 3 steps, you know, in order to get the certification, but the first step is to attend a workshop.
That's cool. You know, many years ago, I don't know if y'all know Jenny Reed.
Yeah,
Jenny
Jenny
Reed.
Linebacker.
Yeah, she, I don't know how she was affiliated with KGNS. And I don't even know it was KGNS at the time, it probably was. But anyway, she did in an afternoon, they used to have times to do local shows. Remember Mrs. Weatherford had that little show, Margie Weatherford? Well, Mrs. Reed had this show about Laredo, My Laredo, she would call it. And and I always remember this, and I wished I would have written down every word, but all you see is her feet walking. And she's walking in ranches, she's walking, for instance, at the golf course, you know, like you saw this young lady's shoe, but she's walking and she's talking about Laredo. And every time she says Laredo, she says my Laredo and my Laredo. And I mean, I was very young at the time, but it just struck me so much. And every time I see her, I haven't seen her a long time because I think she's well on age, but every time I see her, I remind her it is the most amazing thing about Laredo that I have ever seen. And you never saw anything but her feet and then Laredo. My Laredo. And I think for a local campaign, I mean, because each one of us promotes Laredo.
I know there's some opportunities for, there's a couple of stations that have shows that are locally produced. So for our Civic Pride campaign, we can definitely look into those, to have some presence in those shows, for exactly the Civic Pride campaign.
Especially those people que dice Judy me cae mal. You know? No, it's true. Think about it.
Those are the people we want to target with the Pride campaign. Those are exactly the people we want to target
They don't
with the Pride
understand
campaign.
how lucky they are to live here.
Right.
They don't understand.
So that's exactly our target market with the Civic Pride campaign. The people that don't feel that Laredo is
If I knew that I was
It's a
going to go to
special
prison for the
place.
rest of my life, I'd kill him, you know.
You know, and then we're 150 miles from San Antonio, Corpus, and Monterey. So you could really drive
Yes.
to any of these places, and whatever is lacking here, get some of it, okay. But then you come back to a safe, wonderful city.
With a lot of wonderful people. And
With
it's
a
really,
lot of wonderful
because people just
people.
don't appreciate, you know, the quality of life that we have.
Yeah.
And the people that are so friendly.
I think a lot of that has to do with people that just don't even get out. They don't even explore, so they just come forward and express their opinion, but they've never
They don't
been
know
out
any
there.
different.
Yeah.
They don't
So
know
they
this,
just-
they can't compare.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they have never been out.
I was
That's
thinking
true.
of Laredo as of
To say
5,
otherwise,
10
right.
years ago, you know?
Yeah.
It's been changing a lot.
No, and there's a lot of people that also are
Mm-hmm.
it's too far. Like, you know, if living in Laredo. Some
Too
might
far
not go to
from
South
home.
Laredo, some might not go to
Yeah.
North Laredo.
It's all relative, let me tell you. It's like,
Give me a break.
really.
After 3 hours of commuting,
Yeah.
it's like 20 minutes, like.
At 35, let's go with Salute, let's go with McPherson. It's all
And, you know,
about,
let me just tell you, my experience as a realtor, and you ask people, you know, where they want to live. North Laredo, and I said, why? I mean, look at South Laredo. I mean, it's one of the best places to
Beautiful.
go and buy a home. And a lot of the law enforcement people, you know,
buying
are
homes.
moving, you know, to South Laredo. And it's wonderful to see how all of this has just, you know, it's, like you said, grown. I mean, it's not something that you can just generalize and say, oh, because North Laredo has better schools. No, I mean, look at South Laredo. Oh my
No,
goodness, schools.
I don't agree with that. The other day I went to speak at LBJ, and I took the loop. I mean, I know where LBJ is because I've gone before, but I thought, okay, now we have a loop. So I took the loop, I exited on Cielito
Yeah.
Lindo,
Mhm.
and there is LBJ, and I had to stop the car and take a picture. I was so amazed at the campus
Mhm.
and the look
Yeah.
from that vantage point.
Oh, my God.
Unbelievable.
I mean, the
And
ninth
the
grade campus
kids-
for United South.
Man, the kids, brilliant questions about Laredo, and they all love Laredo.
And the growth and the boom is all
Mm-hmm.
to that side of the,
And now with the complex, it's
Oh.
gonna.
oh my
We're
gosh,
excited.
everything is just.
So we're
going that
excited.
way.
No, but
Really excited for
I
that.
just, we are doing
My test is
something
gonna
for
go
every
higher.
part of the city.
Yeah.
We are doing something for every part of the city because everybody counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's one of my observations, you know, it's like, why do you want to move to, they cannot afford to live in North Laredo. I mean, the prices are so
Stupid.
high. And you know, you can still buy, yeah, you can buy a home. I mean, you know, because the first thing you ask them, well, how much were,
And
did you
sometimes it's
qualify?
the same builder,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
same
So
builder,
it's the
same model.
Just location.
Same, just
Well,
location.
the thing is that they buy, the higher prices
Yes.
on land is in North Laredo.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's the difference.
But you know, it didn't used to be like that. My husband, when I got married, we lived in South Laredo. We lived on 202 South Meadow, there near San Jose Church.
That's where they had the family grew up, well.
Yes, the whole
The
place.
store, the whole
We had
everything,
the store and everything.
I used to-
So we lived there until we had a little bit of money to move and buy a house. So we looked and looked and looked, and the only place they were building was in North Laredo. And my mother would say, cuando vamos a San Antonio, pasamos por ahí. It was a very long way.
Yeah, because it was.
And I bought a lot behind the park, you all know on Del Mar, the baseball park,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Troutman Baseball Park, swimming pool. Okay, I bought a house there, there were no houses, so we could run to the park was already there. I bought the house and the lot for $20,000.
Wow.
And at the time, for us, it was very expensive.
Yeah.
And we financed, I think, $12,000. No, we financed $16,000, and the other was down. And then our payment was $144. And I mean, my husband and I were both working, and we were like, paying the $144.
Because everything was,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, it's,
I mean, can you, and now compare it to today's salaries and today's price of homes and today's everything, and it doesn't make sense.
just go to
Especially some
the
of the houses.
foreclosure sales every month. They're
Oh, yeah.
at the Justice Center Park. People lose their homes, I mean, they buy, and a lot of them are in the north. I mean, there's some in the south, I'm not gonna say there isn't, but
Most of
you know,
them.
most of them, and they just purchase them. I mean, it's like, they were constructed, they were built in 2014, 15, 16. So what does that mean? I mean, that
They made a few payments, and then that was it.
They bought more than they could.
And the thing is that people are looking for bargains, so, you know, a lot of them go back to the bank, but, you know.
Oh, God. Anyway, but South Laredo's a beautiful
It's beautiful.
place.
It is, and you know, a lot of infrastructure, you know, it's been, you know, it's gone that way. I mean, they've improved.
You know where the Bonnie Garcia School is in
Yes.
South Laredo? That's my mother's property. And that's my mother's school, Bonnie Garcia. But that school, and
It's a very
all
nice
the
school,
property,
by
it's
the
a
way.
beautiful school. And that whole area there was developed because she donated the land for the school. And that's not the only school, she's donated, you know, for more schools down 359. But they always believed in that part of town because they saw the potential. And why not the children have something? And one of the things that we offered UISD was to build a transportation center on 359 because the buses were coming from North Laredo to pick up the kids in the colonia and then going back. So they had to go all the way, and So every year now, just on gas, they save $1 million.
Wow.
Because there's a transportation center now in our former property.
And you know what
But
that
it was
is?
our idea.
And that, your mother's school, I mean, Bonnie Garcia, that is there, in Southwell, it's actually on 359, right? But it became a feeder school for the middle school, like the Perales Middle School. That's where my daughter-in-law teaches. It's a beautiful school, but the feeder school, and that's where they send them to that middle school. Now they have it of the other, what's the name of the other elementary school? Freedom is across the road from it.
Right.
But a lot of people don't even know where these schools are.
I know.
Especially when
Those
you're
two are on our former property. And the road is E.G. Ranch Road. I'm Elizabeth Garcia Flores.
Thank you, Ms. Flores.
But anyway, that's a long story about South Laredo.
Well, we go out of here, just gaining new knowledge on everything. I mean, that's good. Now we can
Selena,
talk about it.
thank you so much for your report.
Thank you.
And we're moving over to the Digital Marketing Coordinator's Report, Ana Reina, on page 13.
Bye, Robert, thank you for coming.
Bye, thank you.
Appreciate it, guys.
Thank you. Reports on page 13. Well, I traveled with Selena and Eileen to Monterrey and Guadalajara, but I went to the Safari Summit in Portland, Oregon. It was about our website. They are our website designer, and we have a very good conversation and summit with them because we see all the changes for the ADA compliance and for the SEO changes on all the websites. So I learned a lot about this, and I incorporate the new social media, new tools for our website, and increase the numbers and reports on both on our websites and the social media.
So now all the websites have to be ADA compliant, every website, which means there has to be specific descriptions in every picture, in every design, in every graphic, so that somebody that's visually impaired can have a description, voice of what they're looking at. So we hadn't either, and this is something new, so.
That's really new Safari are ready for the software for that, and
With all the new technology, there's no reason why they wouldn't do that. I mean, that's-
Extend to that.
So
You leave out a big portion of the population, and it's now.
it's now available to us.
That's wonderful, yeah.
yeah,
So every website, everywhere, has to be now
ADA.
ADA compliant.
Wow.
When is that effective? Was that effective
No,
already?
no,
It's
no,
already.
it's already.
It's already
It's something that, it's important because you can get sued for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's the first thing that they had told us, that we are a government office and they have some suits for this.
Yes.
I think that's wonderful.
So we're already
We're
working
working on that, to be in
Getting
compliance
that.
and
Qué bueno, that's-
and be ready for that.
Yeah, that's good.
And all the changes with Google, SEOs and everything, so that's very tricky, all this information on the ads, and we need to stay in that, so it's a very productive summit.
That's very good information. Any questions for Ana Reina? Ana Reina, thank you for your report. Moving over to the Casa Laredo activity report for Monterrey.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This was a very busy month for Casa Laredo. They participated in several other, additional to doing the groundwork to organize the event. They also participated in several bingo events. And the reason why we like to sponsor and participate in these events is because we have 500 to 600 women that are in our potential visitor market, all gathered in one place. And so we provide the information, we give them a little gift, and then we sometimes raffle weekend stays, we raffle different prizes. And so that's our market where we want to be. They also participated in another event called Zona Híbrida, which is for our younger market looking for tech, all the tech stuff. They participated there. They had, so one of the things that we missed and we didn't mention is during our press conference, we also unveiled the augmented reality activation, bless you, that we're gonna have in Monterrey. So every year before Black Friday, we have some type of activity just to engage people. This year we have augmented reality. So we showed them how to download an app to their phone, and whenever they see that ad, there's 3 locations in Monterrey. Whenever they see that ad, they can scan it with their phone, and they're gonna see different things popping out of their phones, and
Like logos
and bags.
Now that is also for the newspapers.
Oh,
You
okay.
can do that for the
That's pretty
newspaper,
cool.
newspaper, so you can see, you can use your phone.
Yeah, so the ad is gonna be, Rena's saying, additionally to the billboards on the street and some publications, so people are gonna be able to hover their phone and see things pop up. So that's something that we're also targeting that generation. And it's one of the things that we've been doing is, because the older generations were used to coming to Laredo, right? So the next generation are like, oh no, Laredo it's where my parents or my grandparents used to go. Now we're going to the younger generation and saying, no, this is now your Laredo. This is your place to go. This is your destination. And so that's what we're trying to do with all these activities.
That's great. That's really good. Any questions on the report from Casa Laredo?
Just, we have 2 groups that Paul and Casalado have been working on, 2 logistics groups. They're coming, one from Guadalupe, Nuevo León. We just signed a Sister Cities agreement with them. And as part of the agreement, they're bringing a logistics tour group. And the other one is Sil Consultores. They're bringing another logistics tour group in December. So Paul usually works those groups with Casa Laredo and having everything ready.
How large are the groups?
The C Consultores is about 20. They all work for private freight forwarders or brokers or warehousing, depending. And for the Guadalupe Nuevo León, they're looking at about 15 to 20 people as well. So they bring them in like in a mini, in a Sprinter, vans, and we show
It's a day
them.
trip?
No, it's a 3-day.
3-day. Okay.
Yeah, they stay 2 nights, so we integrate shopping. Part of while they see both the Mexican customs, U.S. customs. They go to World Trade, and they get to see the airport, the FIS, everything that the FIS does, and then they get to see Kansas City Rail. So they do a presentation from trucks, rail, and then everything. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's been very good.
I was gonna ask, in the past, you all took a trip where members of our hotel industry went. What trip was that?
It's usually our press conferences. So the March one and the November one. This is one of the first times that we don't take a group because we were not driving. This time we flew because we had 2 trips together. We had Guadalajara and then Monterrey. We had to fly, so we didn't take a vehicle but we usually take hoteliers and other partners with us. So we've had hotels, we've had the Max, the outlets, Mall del Norte, travel with us to Monterrey.
Yeah, I think that's important.
Yes, this is one of the only times that we haven't done it because there's only been one other where we had to fly also because we had 2 trips together. This is one of the only times that we haven't
It's
done
an
it.
invitation and everything, and the hotels can give us information.
Yeah, so we took information,
Yeah.
La Quinta, Motel 6, La Posada. I don't know if you saw the information, but we took information and promotional items. And so every attendee to the press conference took home a little bag with information and the promo items that they provided and the promo items that we had for them. So everybody in attendance
Walked out with
took
something.
information and a little gift from.
I want to be sure we don't forget them
no,
because
no,
they're the
no,
ones
no,
that
no,
fund
No,
us.
No, for us,
They're an important group.
yeah,
right?
for us it's very important to
Yes.
bring them together, and it shows a different front to the media in Monterrey. It shows that we're all working this together.
And then they can also relate it to their ownership.
Yeah.
Did you have other hotels send you information?
Yes, we had La Posada, we had Fairfield,
Fairfield.
we had Motel 6 in La Quinta, we had Red Roofing. So yeah, we had several
It's a
hotels
good
provide
cross-section
information.
of the
Yes.
Different properties.
So no, by all means, we don't forget them. They're key partners for us. Just this time it didn't quite work because we
Yeah.
were traveling to Guadalajara, and then from Guadalajara we flew to Monterrey.
And a percentage, how many hotels you think participated, like in sending something, at 10%, 20%? It's
We
low,
had-
right?
Yeah, we had.
That's the sad
Maybe.
part, that if everybody would,
Less than 10%.
less
Yeah, I would say
than
like
10%.
10%.
yeah, yes, yeah.
Yeah.
And we sent plenty of, I mean, you see,
To
it, we
everyone,
sent
yeah.
plenty of
Plenty of
information.
reminders.
Emails.
We
Yeah.
send information, emails, Irma calls the hotels.
Sometimes we even go and pick up the stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to get it.
If they can't bring it to us,
Yeah.
we make ourselves accessible to
yeah,
them.
from your side, you're doing what you have to do.
And we
It's a
want
sad
to
thing that they don't
participate.
participate, I mean, it's terrible.
Is their loss.
Taking their
Better for the one that.
Como dicen los burros más
That's a good one.
But yeah, we don't forget our partners. This time didn't work, but and what we've done in other times is we bring the media here and we tour them.
Yeah, we changed.
There it
That's
is.
the-
So we try to keep it fresh.
Yeah.
We're always saying we need to keep it very different. So
Different,
they don't
change
say,
it up.
ay, el evento de la
Yeah.
Renovada."
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the same.
No,
thing.
and so last year we brought them here because we knew we weren't gonna have time to take them to every hotel. We had a little mini trade show at the outlet, and so we try to make it different. every
The
time.
other event that is great and that hoteliers have the chance to participate is the Austin one, the Cinco de Mayo.
Yes,
I hope
we-
we'll do it again this year because that's also another opportunity. you
Yes.
know. And yes, that one, we pay a small fee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
it
pay
used to be a
But
$50 fee.
it's still a really good opportunity to go and reach out to the state travelers.
Well, yeah, because you have a lot of agents.
Yes, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people and everybody is so, interested about
Yeah.
hearing what you're.
So did you set up a booth or what?
You set
Yeah,
up a
set up a
booth?
booth.
We used to.
Yeah, so what we did before is we would, during the year, and this, I'm gonna say because I used to be
Yeah.
the sales rep for that market. What I would do is during the year, I would meet with different meeting planners, different events, and then Cinco de Mayo, we had this big party where everybody would go. All the meeting planners that I met throughout the year would be invited. And so it was in Austin, we would have it at a restaurant, and everybody knew, and so we had a
I
good
think I attended
attendance.
like, maybe
Yes.
like 4 or 5
Yeah.
times.
Yeah.
And I remember like the conversation, there was actually conversations. We would
Yeah.
talk about, the mall, we would talk about WBCA, like sister cities. Like it wasn't just like, oh, this is La Quinta and this is what I have to offer.
Right.
No, you were actually interacting.
Promoting
Yeah,
Laredo.
And they were really interested and they would tell you, okay, I would like to do this. So that was really good for people that I hope you guys
Yeah, no.
consider doing it again.
You can go
because it
through the
is-
calendar, like the different events that happen here during the year.
And
It's like,
And
No,
you
there's
know,
so many
and
calendars.
maybe
Beautiful
you reach
calendar.
out to these planners, but these people are influential and they are in a very, privileged position where they have access to a lot of other people. There's so
Yeah.
many state employees and,
Yeah.
that's what we want. We need people to
They
speak
were-
highly about Laredo and,
And for
and
us
be
to
talking
tell-
about,
yes.
tell our story.
And
Ourselves.
I can tell you
that.
that a lot of those meeting planners
Yeah.
keep coming to
to sister cities. Yes.
Every
They
year I
come
see
to
them
sister
and-
cities, yeah.
Wow.
Just an example,
Mhm.
Joanne, she used to work for, or she still works for Texas Workforce in Austin. Now it's a trip that she takes with her daughter, and her daughter studies in Baylor, Well, they get together and they drive to Laredo, and they're vegetarian, so they're always looking for looking forward to a quinto son. Marlas. And so every year, I know I'm gonna see them there, and every
That's
year
so
they come.
cool.
So that's a.
I got to meet them because one time we did a fan tour during Sister Cities.
Yeah.
It was a little tiring, but it's okay. But I got to meet them, and we brought them
Yeah.
to Sister Cities, and I think I've seen a lot of those meeting planners come back every year, and I see them, I'm like, I remember.
Yeah.
Some of them retire, some of
So,
them are
and
working
then-
class.
Yeah, most of them are,
Still.
it's an older crowd too.
Yeah, but we're getting.
There's no way wrong with those.
No.
They're experienced.
Experience,
They're more
super
experienced.
We have disposable income.
Another thing that I wanted to
I could learn a lot from them.
I didn't say anything earlier about the video, but I think the video is really good. I love the message, and I think that if your idea was to send a message about having more to offer than other than shopping, I think it's clear. So, and I like the Laredo. I think Laredo is incredible. I like that. I hope that when you revisit with Relic about the message for the global campaign, show them these and show them, what is giving you good results and good feedback and everything. So we don't have to, create a very different campaign, maybe keep it simple, keep it, the message for everything and like something like
And
that.
consistent.
Consistent, yeah.
And we want to make sure, so once we have the logo for the US campaign, we are going to have a transition, we're going to transition so that the Mexico logo and the US logo are the same. Because we don't want, in the past, we had two different logos, it doesn't work. So we're going to have a transitioning period, even here, we're going to transition from the Laredo, Texas to the new logo. We do want this to speak the language of each market. So they might be a little bit different in terms of campaign, but we want definitely to have a unified look consistently.
Okay.
Some of the video that we have there is that things to do in Laredo, and that's a lot of things to do.
Exactly. And the app.
And the app, we have a lot of things to do, so we're talking with the producers and anything, and we want this, okay, we need to focus, because that's only 1 minute.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly, we wanted to put
This
everything.
video was 2 days, complete 2 days. 2 days,
Just to
just to,
Absolutely.
yeah, we start at 2 p.m., at 12, and we finish at 11:30 in the night.
It's a lot of work.
And the other day start at 6.
And then early the next morning.
Yeah, 6 a.m. So
And,
finish at
definitely
8 p.m.
The marketing
That's 2
team
days.
did an amazing job. I saw it and I was like, I love it. And then I saw it on the big screen
No,
and I was
it's very good.
And the
Yeah.
difference, that's
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Well,
The thing,
good job.
the thing that I guess, this is good that the message and branding is gonna be consistent, But I worry that Webb County has its own
Yes.
message, and I think it's a little bit,
Told them that.
it's confusing, why do they not get
And
together?
the chamber.
Yes, and
But
why?
it is a good campaign, and it looks beautiful. At least that's
Yes, I
a
know.
plus, right? Because sometimes when people get ideas and put a product out there, and then the quality is not there or something.
Well, they're paying a lot of good money
Yeah.
from our hotel motel,
Yeah.
that's where it comes from. So, I mean, I would say,
seen it.
Check it out. You'd be surprised. That's the.
you'd be
that's the
surprised
fact.
about, you'd be surprised, why would we be surprised? That's one of the things, I don't know, why would we, I'm not surprised, I mean, but anyway, I'm surprised that they're surprised.
When we finish, we need a motion on the December meeting.
Oh, yes.
Motion to cancel.
Are we gonna postpone? Or are we gonna cancel?
Cancel.
I would suggest that we cancel because
There's not gonna be enough time, and I move to that effect that we cancel in
Yeah.
December.
I second.
We have a motion to
Yes.
cancel our December 5th committee meeting.
Yes.
And
Yes.
say why, because some of the people weren't here when we were talking about it.
So we're asking to cancel the meeting in December because it's right during our move. We're gonna be moving during those days, and then Paisano is coming. So we're asking if we can cancel the December meeting and have
Get situated.
to get situated and hopefully.
And there is
January will-
nothing that is
Pressing.
pressing, you know, something that
An emotion.
absolutely has to be, that we have to have a meeting to be able
Yeah,
to address
no.
it. So that's one of the things that,
And maybe we can have a Reyes luncheon instead of a Christmas lunch.
I know, right?
Día de Reyes.
Partimos la rosca en vez de tamales.
so that would be in January.
Ay, no puede ser tamales sino.
We motion
No,
to
I
cancel the meeting.
Okay, so yeah, so I move, right?
Okay.
So
Need a
second?
second?
Second.
Motion
Second.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. Always good conversation.